Hey everyone, and welcome to our webinar today on building $1 million business. Today we're going to be talking to Nikhil Joshi, who will be kind of talking about how he built up his business using Zen Planner as well as just best business practices that he's found in order to make his business a $1 million business. If you have questions in the GoToWebinar functionality, you can ask those questions. Nikhil may be asking some questions and you can type in your responses as far as where you're from or what have you, whatever questions he asks, throw in your answers there and he'll be able to read those. Otherwise, I'll be getting back to your answer or to your questions. And if there are ones that are kind of relevant to everyone, he'll be answering those at the end of the presentation. But Nikhil, take it away.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Nikhil Joshi. I'm one of the head instructors here at American Martial Arts Academy in Orange County, California. Our school is located about 15 minutes away from Disneyland. We actually have 2 campuses that I'll talk about in just a moment. I want to first off thank Zen Planner. We've been clients of Zen Planner for quite some time, probably the last 5 to 6 years or so. And they've really helped us with our business as far as organization. We find them one of the top CRMs in our industry throughout the fitness space. And we're very grateful for the opportunity to be able to be of service to you guys today. Real quick, while we're starting, there's a couple more attendees coming in. If you guys want to type in the chat box just so we can get some interaction going, where are you guys from? If you want to put down your city and state, that would help us kind of see who we're talking to. And in about a couple seconds, we're going to get started with our presentation. Perfect. We'll go ahead and get started. As a martial arts instructor, just a couple warnings. As we work with kids a lot, I tend to talk fast. That's my bad habit. So I will be slowing down as much as possible today. But we will have some time for some question and answer towards the end of our call today. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the box, as Austin mentioned, and we'll get to as many of them as we can towards the end of the presentation. Or if not, I'll be glad to personally email you guys too. Today, we're going to talk about how our business came about. And Austin, if you can go ahead and move to the next slide, please. It started with the vision. Back in 1992, it wasn't me, it was my teacher, who you see in the middle in the second picture there, Shion Brad Wennerberg, who opened up American Martial Arts Academy. And he had a successful career in the insurance agency. He was a retired police officer as well, but martial arts was his passion. And he was teaching martial arts at a little racquetball gym, had 20 to 30 students or so, but found that this was something that he was extremely passionate about, and it was his calling. And in 1992, with his wife's support, full force, they began the American Martial Arts Academy, which is where we have today. Through a lot of trial and error, he eventually found a mentor that was be the right fit for him, and followed the steps, and it worked. Gradually, systems were built, and as you can see through the statistics, our main campus, our Fullerton campus, is 15,000 square feet, over 600 actively training and paying students, and grosses over $1.5 million a year. Today, that school is multi-generational. It has over 20 employees. His son, one of my friends and colleagues, and Jason, who you see on the left-hand side of that picture, manage the school on the day-to-day basis, along with the rest of their family. Shion's wife is involved, his daughter and son-in-law are involved. It's a family business. That's something that's creating a legacy, which is pretty amazing. Where I come into play is I've been a student at the school for 26 years as of last month. I started off as a 6-year-old kid into the program, and fell in love with it. I kept on doing it through junior high, through high school, working as an instructor, working there through college, and at some point decided to make a career out of it. So I began working for him, working for the family, and being able to partner up with them to learn as much as we can about the business. And what we've done is we've taken those systems, and about 7 years ago, my wife and I created our second campus, which, using those same systems, is on track to gross over $1 million this year, all with the same systems and processes that we've created before. But where it happened was it all started with $1 million mindset that we're going to talk about today. Nothing in business is by accident. We have to be able to choose what we're going for and really go for it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, Austin, if you don't mind, the next slide, please. Today, we're going to be covering a lot. In creating $1 million martial arts business and doing it twice, there's a lot that goes into it. And we're not going to have time in this short half an hour to 45-minute call to cover all of it. But we've really broken it down into these 5 steps, these 5 key components that have really helped us grow. Now, these aren't the only 5. There's other small things that are in there, but these are what we call the big 5. And we're going to touch on each of these today, but we're really going to focus on a couple of them a little bit more. Now, along with that, we're going to be giving you guys some easy action items as well. So we're going to be talking about some practical things that you guys can take to your business right away. Now, these 5 stages, number 1, we got vision. Number 2, we got our product, which we'll talk about, which is our classes. Number 3, our staffing, how to be able to pick the right instructors, how to be able to groom the right instructors and retain and motivate them as well for long-term success. We're going to be talking about the financial aspects and key numbers and metrics to be aware of. And we're also going to talk about marketing. Now, like I mentioned, we're not going to be able to go through all of these today, and we're an open door school. So if you guys have any questions like that pop up, you'll see our phone number and email address that you can email us anytime, as well as some more information there on the website there too that can go through these systems in a little more detail. Let's go and get started. So the key today is deciding what you want and going for it. That's one of the things that my teacher, Shion Wennerberg, has always emphasized, is that if you don't know where you're going, it's hard to get there. It's like running a race, but you have no idea how long you're running for. So part of what we're going to talk about today as we get into vision is deciding what you want and what it's going to look like. In our industry, in the martial arts industry, throughout the fitness industry, health and wellness, this is an excellent time to where this is going to be a growing opportunity. Health and fitness and wellness is one of the biggest, not just hot words, but hot feelings that we have in our lives that people are really going for. So we're in the right place and the right time to be in this industry. A little bit about who we are and who we're not. We're not equipment salesmen or manufacturers like that. That's not our primary focus, like a lot of other companies are. We're not a franchisor. We're not trying to license schools or sell anything. That's not our focus. Who we are at the end of the day is a mom and pop karate school, 2 of them. And we're walking the talk. We're teaching classes. We're doing exactly what we're going to be teaching. We're walking the talk. And we've been through it. Our organization's been through it all and pretty much seen it all over the last 27 years. What we're doing at the end of the day is we're teaching traditional martial arts without any gimmicks, which is really critical. A little bit about our schools as far as numbers go. Our Fullerton campus, our main school, been around for 27 years. It's this year averaging about $130,000 gross, averaging about 25 enrollments, 10 upgrades, which we'll talk about, and about 8 dropouts. So those are the real statistics right there. Our Placentia campus, which is on track for $1 million this year, is averaging about $85,000 a month, about 18 enrollments a month, 7 upgrades, and 6 dropouts. So those are real statistics about what we're doing and how we're getting there. The key to reaching this, I know this can seem a little overwhelming, like it did for me when I first started seeing these numbers, is that it's about thinking better, it's about thinking bigger, and it's about expanding your thinking. It's all possible to have a class just like you see in this picture out today, but we have to have that with vision in mind. So with that being said, let's get into vision. So if we can move to the next slide, there we go. Now, before we get started with that, I want to tell you a quick story. Yesterday, I had a parent come into us in the office and want to say, okay, Sensei, we want to have a talk. And we all know when that conversation happens, we don't know where that goes. But these parents came into the office, we sat down and said, we have a situation. And their son, Sean, is 6th grade at a wonderful school in our area, but is being bullied tremendously. He was in a physical situation where he was being punched and kicked last week. He's been emotionally bullied for the last year. The school district involved, this, that, and the other, and they bring it to us. And through what we were able to talk about, we were able to do a private lesson with them, and we got another one scheduled tonight for them. The parents walked away coming in originally with fear and not knowing how to deal with this. Their son's being hurt. Imagine how that would feel for a lot of us. And then by the end of that conversation, we were able to guide them and give them some resources and give their son some resources to protect themselves. That's what we do is all about. No matter what your target demographic is, whether it's kids, whether it's adults, we have an opportunity to do something much greater than ourselves. And it all starts with vision and starts with mindset. We started off American Martial Arts Academy, just like many of you guys. We had one student in an 1,100 square foot studio. On the left, you see a picture of that with Xian. But from the beginning, even with that one student, Xian had a vision to reach thousands. We had a mindset that our business was going to have the vision to reach a lot more than just the one that was in our building at that point. And we had to walk into it with that kind of mindset. Same thing happened when we opened up our second campus. It wasn't about the 0 students that we had and the lease that we had and this, that, and the other. No, it was about, hey, we have a vision for this to be much bigger than it is. That's that $1 million mindset. Success, like we mentioned before, is not on accident, but it's on purpose. It has to be intentional. So from the moment that we opened up our schools, in each location that we moved to, everything's been nailed in. Everything's been built with having multiple students in there, not just one student. Everything is nailed down to the ground. Everything is finished. Everything is complete by the time that first person walks into the door. When Xian opened up the school, it wasn't about making money. He had a very successful insurance practice already. He left that to be able, because it was a lot more than just teaching karate for that matter as well. What we do is, yes, we teach blocks, we teach punches, we teach kicks. Some of you guys may teach other things. That's great. And we have a passion for that too. We train in the martial arts. But what we have is much more than that. It's about a calling or a vision. Okay? Xian said from the beginning that we're not just a martial arts school. Our instructors look at ourselves like child development experts. We're life and family coaches. Okay? And we're helping students get to the next level. It's about helping kids like Sean be able to get through these bullying situations, be able to stand up for himself. It's about helping him be prepared and comfortable going into junior high. It's about helping that shy girl who can't talk to anybody, who's super scared, be able to build confidence. So that way, one day when she's 16, 17 years old, if she has to, she can say no and back it up. It's about helping that battered woman get out of an abusive relationship. It's about helping all of us when we're stressed out on the freeway, when someone cuts us off, be able to take a breath and not go into road rage. That's what we do. And it's much more than just blocks, punch, and kicks. The block, punches, and kicks, the martial arts is a vehicle that helps us get there. Now, vision and mindset, a lot of us, we talk about mission statement. That's a common thing, and vision statements and mission statements, those are important. And I encourage you, if you don't have one, to get a mission statement. But the purpose of a mission statement is not just a bunch of words that we put up on the wall or we put in our drawer of a desk somewhere and refer to it every once in a while. But a mission statement is our roadmap. It tells us who you are, and more importantly, it tells us who you're not. So a quick example of that, we're a traditional martial arts school. That's who we are. If you're something else, if you're an MMA school, great. If you're a CrossFit gym, more power to you, no problem. But you have to know who you are and who you're not. So in our industry, about 10 years ago or so, everybody was saying, oh no, you know what, you gotta be successful, we have to move away from traditional martial arts to go to MMA or go to this or go to that. You gotta put a cage in your gym or whatever the case may be. Now again, nothing against those people who do those things, not a problem, but we had to look at ourselves in the mirror and go, okay, is that us or isn't it? Is fitness kickboxing us or isn't it? Okay, so our mission statement clearly defines what we are and what our principles are so we can get there. But you can't do everything because otherwise you're gonna be a master of none. A big part of this also is having a mentor. You need to have someone who's been before to get you there. This is not my expertise. Xian Wennerberg, this is his expertise. He really digs into this. He has a whole course called his Instructor's Business College, where he really digs into not just the business mission, but the personal mission, and like he calls it, changing your tapes, so that way you can build the success principles. But without this vision and mindset, nothing is possible. Moving on. The next part of it is our product. So product is critical. Now, when I say product, a couple of things come to mind. Number one, product is not merchandise, okay? Just because you sell a lot of merchandise doesn't make you a successful school, as we all know, right? Merchandise is very low net. That's not who we are. Our product is our people. Our product are our classes. That's what people come and stay for. Now, the old sales model, what we used to run, as a matter of fact, for the first 15 years of our business, is had a strong program director, the slick sales guy, kind of like you go to the gym. There's that person who can sign everybody up, and they're going to maneuver, do whatever they can with be able to help them join the program. that sales model is dead. In fact, at our schools, we don't have program directors anymore. We hire, and our highest paid staff members or highest paid team members are the instructors, okay? Because our instructors are who sell the product. People are going to stay not because of the salesperson, they're going to stay long term because of the people and the product and the classes, and they're meeting that need. Simple is always better, okay? So remember that, simple is always better. If you look at the best businesses, if you look at our top businesses in your area, Apple, Disney, Starbucks, they do a few in and out. If any of you guys eaten in and out before, you know they have a menu of 5 items and that's it. And they have stuck to those 5 items and they have never changed it. They made small tweaks and whatnot, but the recipe has stayed the same. They do burgers, they do fries, and they do shakes. Simplicity is always best. It's better to be the best at something simple than to overwhelm. Our product sells itself. At the end of our class, we don't have a sales presentation or anything like that. At the beginning, when they come in, we hand them a sheet and it goes through exactly what our programs are. They try out a class absolutely for free. We'll talk about that process when we get to marketing. And then by the end of the class, they're signing up themselves. Halfway through the class, most of the time, parents are coming up saying, okay, how do we get started? Here's my card. Or at the end of the class, we quickly re-explain it, and that's that. There's no 10, 15-minute presentation. It's simple. Now, these 3 areas are where we start to delve into our product. Number 1, your classes. Classes have to be professional. We encourage you guys to sit down and watch your classes, or have someone that you trust watch your classes for a day. And are they entertaining? Are they productive? We have a saying in the martial arts, is floor vision. Is it meeting the students' needs? Is it meeting the instructors' needs? But it also meeting the parents' needs. If an outsider were to come and watch your classes, would that motivate them to get started with your classes? It needs to have a curriculum. One of the things that we've really done is every class for the next 90 days for all of our programs, from our Little Ninja program to our adult program, are planned out. So there's specific minute by minute, module by module, exactly what to do. So that way, if I'm not teaching that class today, any one of our other instructors can step in and teach. There's specific curriculum for rank levels as well. So for a 3-year-old white belt, there's expectations. For a 7-year-old white belt or orange belt, there's expectations. So it has to be systemized. We have to treat it, we found that treating it professionally works best. The instructors have to be passionate and bought in. It can't just be a fly-by-night instructor who's in one day and not the other. Instructors have to be consistent. People stay because of the relationships they build with their teachers. They have to be master communicators. That's something we spend a lot of time on with their instructors, being able to know how to motivate a class. And bottom line, at the end of the day, results. When all of a sudden you get an email like I did this morning from a parent going, hey, my child earned 3 awards at school and has straight A's from school, and last 6 months ago she was almost failing. That's the results that we're talking about. And if we're doing the right thing, our program has the potential to be able to help them build those results, building those raving fans. If people love what they're doing and they enjoy the good job notes that they get at the end of the day that we send out to our students, all of a sudden that's gonna help them stick around much longer. Retention is critical. Next aspect is our team. The people matter the most. Going back to the product, your classes and your instructors are key. So a little bit about our people. All of our team are homegrown, just like I was. I started off as a kid in the martial arts classes and I was grown into it. And there's 2 aspects to growing the right people, is talent and attitude. Talent and attitude. If you have the right vision, you're going to attract the right people. So talent is not just martial arts talent. Okay, just because someone's an excellent martial artist doesn't mean that they're necessarily the best teacher. So with that, you have to look for the combination of talent of being able to communicate with people. Okay, talent of being able to relate to people. Are they likable? That's something that's partly talent, and you can train that too a little bit. But the part that you can't train is the attitude. The attitude is essential, that they have to be bought in and they have to be willing to be of service. It can't be ego driven. It has to be someone who's willing to give themselves to their students. Think about it like our teachers at school, right? Our school teachers, they go above and beyond, the best ones do, to be able to be of service to them, so to their students. So that's what we have to look at ourselves, and we're educators helping them get there. Again, it can't just be fly by night, in one day, out the other. Our instructors are full-time and they're committed. Number 2 is that they have to be in the right spots, or like I like to refer to them, they have to be in the right seats in the bus. You can't make someone into something that they're not, what we call the acorn principle. They have to be bought into the vision. That's where our instructor business college that all of our team goes through, whether they're going to be a receptionist or an instructor, or they're going to be running the website. They all have to be focused in on the same exact message and method. We have to have high standards for them. So for example, if someone walks into your school tomorrow and you have a 6-year-old girl and you have the instructor who's a big burly guy with a big beard that hasn't been groomed in a while and long hair, that might intimidate a student. Or oftentimes you see perhaps that you look at, is your parents looking at your instructor saying, is that the product? So if your instructors have a big old mohawk, for example, or whatever the case may be, and they're looking at that, and if you're teaching kids, they're looking at that going, is that something I want my child to look up to? Okay, that's part of having the right instructors and having high standards for your team. Our instructors, like Shion calls it, should be vanilla. They should be vanilla. They have to have a service mindset. They have to be willing to go above and beyond. They have to have passion. Because what we do in our industry, when we're teaching 6, 7, 8 classes a day to be able to be $1 million school, we have to have passion to be able to last physically and last emotionally as well. This is a career. They have to be willing to take out the trash. That's something that Shion talks about a lot. They have to be willing to take out a trash. What that means is that when our instructors and our staff, literally, when they see a piece of trash on the floor, you'll see them running to pick it up. And we have that groomed into our black belts, etc. Now, why is that so critical? Why do we emphasize that? And it's not just with the trash, which is other things as well. It's because it's about having that service mindset. It's about it. I'm not above doing anything. And you'll see if you were to come to our school, Shion, who is the owner of our school or a master or a teacher, if he sees something on the floor, if he sees a trash can that's full, he's going to pick it up and throw it out. Because every little bit counts, and no one is above doing those, quote, menial tasks. Now, the third part of it is training, managing, and inspiring. Your team is your most valuable asset and the hardest asset to come by. To find the right team members is huge. So what we find, though, is that when we appreciate and we reward them, we retain them. Okay? They have to feel like they belong to a family. If you were to ask any of our team members, they feel a part of what's going on. We invite them to the house. We invite them to the ball game together. Part of some of my strongest memories of really feeling a part of something is, Shion inviting us to a Laker game, a couple of our key team members, and just being able to go out and, go to the town, book us a limo or whatnot. When we have a team member who's one of our key team members who's going on vacation or getting married or something like that, we'll write them a check saying, hey, put this towards your honeymoon, put this towards your hotel room. Surprising them. Finding ways, it doesn't have to be financial, but finding ways, even a handwritten note at the end of the week saying, hey, you went above and beyond this week, and recognizing them, that's going to make them, again, feel a part of something big. Just like our students need that recognition, like we do with belts, like we do with stickers for little ninjas, or like we do with that attaboy, that's the same exact thing that we need to do with our team members as well. Because again, they're our most valuable resource. Number 4, our metrics and our key numbers. So finances are a big part of this, and we have to treat what we have as a business. What we found working with a lot of schools is that a lot of martial arts schools look at this and they get into it with the martial arts passion. They love doing the martial arts. They love training the martial arts. They may even love teaching the martial arts. But they may be black belt level instructors and they may be black belt level martial artists. But when it comes to business, there's a little bit lacking there. And that it's important to be able to understand that this is martial arts is a big part of this. We run a traditional martial arts school at the end of the day. But at the same time, the other half of our business is a business, not a hobby. So we have to treat it as such. Most studios that we run into don't know their numbers. Okay, a great show out there is The Prophet. If you've ever seen The Prophet, that's an excellent show. And with The Prophet, if you ever watch them, they go into small businesses, and Marcus Leonis goes into those small businesses, and one of the first things that he does is he grills the people. He grills the business owners and managers, and he wants to know their numbers. Okay? That's essential in any business. If we don't know our key numbers and our key metrics, it's going to be impossible for us to grow. It goes back to the metaphor I used earlier. If you're running a race, but you have no idea where you're running to, it becomes a problem. So monitor your numbers daily and weekly, not just after the fact. Okay? It's not enough just to look at the at the profit and loss statement at the end of the month or at the end of the year, or look at those packets your accountant may give you and say, okay, cool, we did good. It's not enough just to look at the checkbook and say, okay, great, it's full, let's move on. But there's key metrics that we utilize on a regular basis, on a daily, weekly basis to help us grow. So here's some of the key numbers. Number one, your revenue. Okay, your bottom right, the revenue is important. You have to know where your gross is. Part of that is also your profit, your net. So your net, as we all know, is our profit. It's what an income behind the expenses. At the same time, enrollments. We're going to talk about that a lot when we get to marketing here in a moment, but you have to know how many new students that you are. New students are the lifeblood of your business. Upgrades, whatever type of upgrade programs that you may have in your school, you want to track that as well. That's what helps you build long-term residuals too. At the same time, dropouts. You want to know how your retention is doing too, or your student count or dropouts. Those two factors are important because a lot of martial arts schools will go out there and we'll sign up 50 students a month, but at the end of the day, they're only keeping 5 a month or 2 later. So you have to watch the back door too. Along with money, you have to be careful of upfront money as well. It's essential to be able to have both cash in your bank account, of course, but residual money as well. Residual or your monthly billing check through Zen Planner is really important for long-term growth. If you have that, that's going to be able to propel your growth to a whole new level. That's what banks look at as well. Build your reserves. When you do receive cash up front, some of you guys may get a year up front in tuition or a longer term tuition than that. Build your reserves, build your savings. That's not money that you can spend out and go buy that Ferrari because you sold a bunch of programs this month. You have to be disciplined with your finances. It has to be about what we found that works best for us is about long-term thinking, not just a full checkbook. Okay, a full checkbook can be very deceiving if you don't have a long-term plan in place. Zen Planner here has a lot of different tools. A lot of you guys are Zen Planner clients. If you look at your dashboard, there's lots of different ways that you can track from student count to how your residuals are doing. All of these statistics can be tracked in there. If you need some help, planning out your database or setting it up to where you can review the right numbers, because it doesn't quite happen automatically. You have to have it set up for success. Anyone in the Zen Planner team can help you out with that. We found that they have excellent customer service. When you call them, you can actually talk to a person, which is refreshing in today's world. So they can help you with more details on that, or if you have any questions, you can also email us. All right, moving on to the next slide. Today, the big thing that we're going to talk about today, one of the most important aspects as well, is marketing. Marketing is essential because the lifeblood of a studio is the new students. Shion always used to tell us as we're moving through the program is that when you have a bad month, let's say we're having a bad month, a tough month financially, you can track that not just to this month right here. Yeah, maybe you dropped the ball, but odds are ideally something happened 3 to 4 months ago that are affecting that bad month now. New students is a big part of that. If you're struggling in new students right now, you may still have a great month, but you're gonna be feeling it 3 to 4 months from now. So you have to be consistent with marketing. So, for example, summer. A lot of people are worried about summer. That's a common time, or winter for some of us, or whatever the case may be. When do we start planning for summer? Summer gets planned out 3 to 4 months ahead of time. In fact, we start planning out our summer marketing, whether it be our advertising, whether it be our summer camps, or whether it be whatever it is, it gets planned out back in January. That's when we start our process. With that, we have to not just sign up students, but as I mentioned before, we focus on retaining the students as well. That's a part of marketing because it's not enough, again, just to sign up a bunch of students, but they have to have the right onboarding processes to be able to stay with you. Again, that goes back to your classes, that goes back to your instructors, etc. Another key is removing barriers to entry. So our sales process, as you mentioned, is extremely simple. It's listed on our website. We don't hide it from people. But when people come in, we take them on a tour of a facility, we help them set up for the class, get them a free uniform, and we hand them a sheet right there that explains exactly what our programs are. It's one sheet, very simple, and we real quick just kind of go over with them if we have a minute or two before jumping into class. They look it over, and it's paint by numbers. They can sign up themselves. They just come up to the front desk, and they're set to go. You want to remove any barriers though. A lot of times some martial arts schools do fancy registrations or this or that or the other. Ours is very simple. They take care of their first month, they take care of the materials, and they're set up through Zen Planner for ongoing billing. Wham, bam, you're done. Now, we have to be careful though, that marketing is that part of marketing is our sales experience. Okay? We don't have a salesperson anymore, but the experience is our sales, right? Going back to that product. So a lot of martial arts schools, the old model was it felt like a used car sales, right? We've all been through that system before where it feels like, you know, you're being sold something. What we strive to be is more the Disney. We strive to be more the Nordstroms or the Ritz-Carlton. We do whatever we can to provide the best experience for them to where it's comfortable and it's natural for them to get started with the program. And that's some of the tools that we have in our arsenal to be able to help us do that. Now, with that, these are kind of the different areas that we focus in on. Advertising, we're going to move into online in a moment. Referrals and grassroots are the three biggest areas where we get most of our students. Majority of our students, online referrals, grassroots help stem those different things. We're going to move to the next slide, please, Austin. So online marketing is a big part of today's workspace. You know, 27 years ago, it was the Yellow Pages, right? But now it's online. But online, it's not just one category, but there's a couple key things that go into that. Having an optimal website. Part of a website is SEO, your search engine optimization. If someone searches your city in karate or your city in CrossFit or whatever you are, do they find you right away? Having ads in today's marketplace, there's so much competition. We do a lot of pay-per-click opportunities as well. So we focus on Google ads and we focus in on Facebook ads. That helps warm the market for them to be able to sign up for our programs. And a big part of online, though, probably the biggest part for me is reviews. Okay? You could have the best website in the world, you could have the biggest ad campaign in the world, but when they Yelp you or when they look at your Google reviews and you got 2 stars, they're not going to want to come in. It's all about, again, it's that referral aspect, right? People are more likely to do what they're referred to. So really making sure reviews are right on target. So a couple quick tips with that. Number one, on your website, we have found, we've tried it all. We've done a paid introductory program where we try to sell memberships on our website for a paid trial. We've done a free month, we've done a free week. What we found that's worked the best for us is a free class and a free uniform. That way they try it out, they experience it, and they know what it's all about. The uniform, why do we give that out? So they feel a part of what's going on. Again, it makes that an easy transition process. At the end of that first class, if for some reason it's not the right fit for them, no big deal, the uniform is theirs to keep. On the website, it very clearly everywhere states that offer. And we have a simple fill out form. You don't want to have too much on there, but you have a simple fill out form that has name, their phone number, their email address, and you want to start contacting them with that. Reviews. You want to reward reviews. That's a great way to do it. So ask people for reviews is a big part of this. A great tool that you guys can use out there is called Get 5 Stars. And there's quite a few of them. Podium is another one, but Get 5 Stars is one that we personally use to help ramp up our reviews. And that is something that you guys can use and email people or automatically text people asking for reviews that you put into that database is an excellent tool. Videos are the way of the future. So utilizing videos in your website is ideal. Most people love to see things rather than read about things. Our attention span's getting less and less in today's marketing. But another part of that is texting. On all of our ads, whether it be a flyer going out to a school or on our website, you'll always notice it says call or text. So a big part of that is having texting capability for your main studio line. So with AT&T and Verizon and with a lot of the voice IP type phone services, you have now the ability that you can add on, if you haven't already, the ability to text. Most people, as we know, are much more likely to text than to call. So when someone fills out the form on our website, we call them and we text them right away. Oftentimes text them first and we can set up a trial right off the bat there. So if you don't have that texting capability, we strongly recommend it. Okay. Out of curiosity here, how many of you guys already use texting in your guys' marketing? Go ahead and answer it in the question there. Looks like some of you guys do. So you can use it on your cell phone if you need to or whatnot. Ideally, if it's connected to your landline, that's the best. Now, with this last part on online, is you don't have to do it all. Find experts that can do it for you. So Zen Planner has a lot of great resources, and there's lots of other resources out there as well. We've used lots of different companies, but I'm by no means an expert in this. I'm pretty tech savvy, but my main focus is teaching martial arts classes and talking and connecting with parents. That's my big focus. So don't feel like you have to run your own ads and that can get very overwhelming. Find the experts who can do it for you, that you can trust, and monitor it. Okay? Grassroots marketing. So a big part of grassroots marketing and marketing in general, is identifying who your target market is. So for us, our target market is kids in a 3 to 5 mile radius who are ages 3 to 10, and primarily their parents, of course, because they're the ones making the decision. That target market may be yours, it may be different. Some of you guys may have an adult target market. We're going to talk about what's worked well for us. We'll give you some tips for adults too. But if we know our target market, the next step is to find out where they are and meet them there. Okay, not only is it important for the online side of things, but if we know where they're hanging out, or if we know where they're socializing, that's where we can meet them for that marketing. And that becomes a lot more of an effective marketing strategy, as opposed to a blanket, okay, let's just send out a bunch of direct mail, or let's just advertise in this magazine or this newspaper or things like that. Nowadays, we can get much more targeted if we're smart about it. And that's what we've done. So for us, again, it's kids. So number one is schools. So my wife just now was at a public school guest teaching PE for one of our local public schools. And at the end of that, we were able to hand out a flyer. And we do a free Bully Buster workshop or a confidence workshop or things like that that helps them draw into the school. We do this absolutely for free. We work on connections with the school. And the reason why we do that is because that's where our target market is. That's where students 3 to 10-year-olds are. We donate, we volunteer. Oftentimes schools are hurting for money. They'll let you put money for a banner up there or advertise in their school program. That's exactly where they are. And we find that money is a lot more effective than just a blanket ad or a blanket direct mail piece. One of the things that you can do is a quick action item is if kids are your target market, is find out your school district that you're in or a couple school districts and find out their flyer approval process. Most districts have a flyer approval process that they have that makes it easy, that makes it possible for you to pass out flyers to an entire school or to an entire district. Some of them are a little pickier than others, but if you can do that, they'll go through exactly what the steps are, exactly what can be in the flyer, and you can do something like this Bully Buster workshop, which is actually a really old flyer, but example of that. If you want some more examples of flyers, you're more than welcome to email us and we can send you some, but find some way in using those schools as a lead magnet. Now, if you can't do public schools, you can do private schools. You can do daycares. You can do churches. Find out where these kids are. And if public school is a little bit harder, like it was for us, you can build relationships elsewhere. For adults, local businesses. Even with kids, local businesses. Find out where kids are hanging out. Or if you're doing adult marketing, find out where adults are hanging out and partner up with them. Doing seminars, doing wellness programs. We actually have an opportunity with Disney to where we do a wellness program with them. Advertising at other companies or in their pay stubs or local hospitals. But find out where your market is and then meet them there. That's critical. When building grassroots relationships, it's about building those relationships and giving first before getting. So a little bit of a story. When we opened up our second campus, we're here in our Placentia Yorba Linda area, and the school district here is very, very business wary, where they do not allow businesses to do any of those district flyers. They don't allow businesses to come into the school without approval. So they're very, very picky about who they work with. I'm sure a lot of you guys are in a similar type of circumstance from time to time too. So what we had to do was we had to get creative, and we focused in on giving. So we focused in on PTAs and found out where they were, and we were able to go in there and hand out donuts for Dad Day. We were able to chaperone a school event. We found whatever we could to be able to build relationships with those key parents. We leveraged the parents that we had who go to those kids, and they started talking to their school principals about us. And pretty soon we gave enough and we built enough relationships to now we're the preferred vendor for that district. It was very business wary. We're able to hand out flyers in the schools. We're able to do all those different things and be able to help them grow. When you're doing these events, always do your best to try and hand out a flyer, hand out a sticker or a wristband or something, so that way they know that you're there. That's the ideal thing, so it's there. But it's not about the offer, it's about the relationship. Moving on. Referrals. So that's the number one way that we grow. That's the best kind of student that you can have, no matter what industry that you're in, is referrals, because referrals tend to be bought in a lot quicker. So referrals for us are very organic. There are some things that we do to promote referrals from time to time, but typically our referrals are very organic. They happen automatically. So here's a referral process. We do, it's standard year round, is that we do $100 Dojo cash or $100 cash upon enrollment for any referral. Okay, and we actually notify this. We want to make this as visible as possible right off the bat. So, and we want to have opportunities. We'll have flyers from time to time on referrals, but right from the get-go, when students sign up, we have on the enrollment, hey, if you sign up, if your friend comes to class, great, here's $100 pass, and we let them know about it right away. We also invite parents to sign up. So when kids get started with the program, we invite parents, hey, you know, yours are free months, you can try it out so you can fully understand what your child's going through in the program. That's a great way to get parents involved. Or if you have one adult signing up, asking about their spouse. Okay, always look for opportunities and leverage. Family are your easiest type of referrals. There's always that younger sibling who's watching class, or that spouse, or whatever the case may be. If you go to 24-hour fitness, that's exactly what they do. They always have family specials going on, so be aware of that. Ask for referrals, keep it in front of them. But the most important part of referrals has to be having amazing product. If there's something that you love, you're going to tell people about it. So keeping it natural and keeping it real is critical. Now, marketing, moving on to the next slide, is all about multiple different avenues. Okay, so it's not just about this one thing. If you're looking for one thing that you're going to get out of today's webinar, that you're going to be able to take your school to the next level, it's not something that's realistic. It takes time. And with marketing, it's much the same way. So with that, it's about doing these things consistently. It's about having the walk-ins. It's about having school programs. It's about having an optimal website. It's about working on referrals. And when you do these things in tandem all together, what happens is you'll start to see these avenues working together to be able to hit goals. So this is a great example of that. If your goal is to hit 20 students a month, which should be everybody's goal, if you were to just break it down weekly, if you got one walk-in a week, how hard is that? That happens pretty naturally to us, to most of us. Number two is a school event. Let's say you get someone who's heard about you from a school. You're doing these school programs. Number three, you get a referral, a family referral. You focus on a sibling and you get one from the website. If you get 5 a week, and you focus in on that, that's going to get you to 20 students a month. Now, all of a sudden, if you're focused a little bit more on referrals, and all of a sudden you get a couple more, or your website's really kicking butt, that's going to help you grow to the next level. But if you break it down bite steps by bite steps, getting one of these in each of these categories, that's going to help you get there. Find out what your weakest category is. If you need help with that, let us know, and then really emphasize that area. You have to be relentless with it. With their marketing, with their new students, leads are gold. All right, Zen Planner again has lots of tools for tracking leads, which is great, but leads are gold. You have to be able to constantly be in communication with them. Every 3 days, we're calling or texting our leads. In fact, as soon as a lead comes in from a website, they automatically get an email. They automatically get a phone call as soon as possible within the next 12 hours. They get a text right away, as well, as I mentioned. A little tidbit here that we just started using a couple of weeks ago that will revolutionize your business, that will revolutionize your marketing, is called Bonjoro, B-O-N-J-O-R-O. And check that out. It's a really cool tool. Don't spend too much time on it, but that's something that'll again help you set you apart from your competition. Zen Planner again has lots of tools. You'll track your marketing, so you know exactly what you're doing. But you have to be strong and you have to be consistent with that. So you can help turn these leads into actual signups. Okay. Next slide. So hopefully you guys got a little bit out of today's talk today. Key things to remember though is that what we're doing and who we're helping. Okay. It all goes back. We got into a lot of nuts and bolts right there, but it all goes back to the vision of what we talked about before. It starts with vision and it starts with purpose. Your team and you have to, all of our team understands that we have a calling to serve. Every student matters. And we look at this like a mission, like a ministry, to where what we're doing has a greater purpose in ourselves. And we go into it with the mindset of service. Shion always says to us that it's not about going out there and trying to make money. It's not about going out there and trying to sign up students, but it's about being able to be of service. And when we go out there and we be of service and we're going the extra mile, what's going to happen is it's going to come back to us tenfold. You have to move into it with that mindset. Going back to Sean, every student matters. That student that I mentioned earlier today, Sean, his family heard about us from a talk that we did at a school's Red Ribbon Week. That a lot of people, we almost didn't do, like, oh, it's a Red Ribbon Week, whatever. We're just gonna give a talk. We can't even hand out a flyer. From that talk, that student heard about us about 6 months ago. And now, he's here as a student of ours, and we're able to help change his life just through the course of the last 24 hours. Every little bit counts, and everything has that purpose with that service mindset. Couple key action items for today that we strongly recommend is, number one, commit to $1 million mindset. Okay, commit to deciding that you're going to do whatever it takes to help reach that goal. That doesn't mean you may make $1 million this year. That's not what we're trying to say. But if you're training your students in the martial arts to become a black belt, it doesn't start when you're a black belt. It starts when you're a white belt. So we have to have the skill sets in place, and we have to have the mindset that we're going somewhere. We have to know where that race is taking us so we can get there. Number two is take action. Take action and do one thing today. One thing today out of what you heard today that's going to help you grow to the next level. And number three is find a mentor. Find someone who's going to help you grow to the next level. We have some tools and resources to be able to do that. We'll be sharing lots of more tools and concepts in 2019, and we're always here for you guys. So if you have any questions, you're always more than welcome to call or email us, and we'll do whatever we can to be able to answer those beyond today's question and answer session. But you're more than welcome to go to karateoc.com/coach. We didn't cover all of these modules in depth, but there's a video series that myself and Jason and Shion, who I mentioned before, can kind of dig into these a little bit more with you guys. If you join that list, you'll be the first one to be contacted with that new content. We strive on always giving value-based, excellent information. We're not going to spam you. That's a promise. We focus in on great content that's going to help you guys grow your school. If you're interested in that, you're more than welcome to just put your email in the chat box over there, and I'll capture those, and we'll go ahead and add to that list, or you can go to that website as well, and we can get you those videos too. But before we go to the question and answer, I just want to again thank all of you guys for the time that you guys put in listening today. And I want to really thank Zen Planner for giving this opportunity for us to be of service, because we find that when we've been blessed, and when we pass that on to other schools and we pass that on, it helps our industry grow, which has been great for all of us. So thanks a lot for your time, guys, and we'll go ahead and open up to questions.
All right, we had one just about the ability to replay this. Everyone will be receiving a copy of the webinar via email shortly after it's finished. But as far as questions for you, we had one from Billy who asks, if it's not too personal, Nikhil, are you an owner with actual equity or a manager? And I wanted to let you kind of speak to that.
Sure, absolutely.
I'm curious of the structure there.
Yeah, so what you see in the bottom, or the right picture over there, is our flagship school, which has been around for 27 years. Shion Wennerberg, my teacher, who I mentioned before, him and his wife and his family own that school, and for the last 27 years. About 7 years ago or so, we opened up our second campus, and in tandem with the other campus, and my wife and I do own and operate that school, but it's in partnership with Shion Wennerberg. So we do have, we are the day-to-day owners and managers, but we have that connection, which is really, really, really important. From a business standpoint, they're two legally separate businesses, but at the same time, we view ourselves as one big school just with two campuses. So hope that answers your question.
Cool. And then we had a question from Clay asking, what Zen Planner features do you believe stand out, drive, or are indispensable to your operation?
Great question. So we've been using Zen Planner for a long time. Obviously, the CRM parts are great. Zen Planner for us has been the easiest to use CRM, and we've tried a lot of them out there. Our staff really enjoys using it. Automations is a big part of what drew us to Zen Planner. Attendance. So for example, part of our product is our DNS as far as keeping students coming back to class. So if for some reason a student doesn't come to class for 5 days, they automatically get an email offering to help them schedule a private lesson or whatever the case may be be able to help them get back into class. That email rotates too, so it's not always the same email. So there's lots of different automations is a great tool. The reporting is great. The billing is super simple, easy to use. Zen Planner is so, there's so many different features in there that I'd love to say we use them all, but we probably only use 50% of them. So pick and choose the right ones that work for you. And like I said, Zen Planner has excellent customer service, so you can call them and talk to them, and they can help you solve any problems you're having oftentimes with their software.
Awesome. So more specifically to your business, John asks, so do you not use a sign-up fee for your new members?
We don't. So when students get started, it's very simple. They get started on their first month and their materials. There's a materials package, which is covers their sparring gear, covers their patch for the uniform, pretty minimal. And there's a profit on that, of course, but there is that and the tuition, and that's that. After that, it's just the tuition every month. So for example, we charge $179 a month for twice a week. $120 is the materials. They pay $299 to get started. After that, it's $179 a month. We found that registration fees, there's not really a purpose to them, and in our eyes, and a lot of people kind of see right through that. So we find that simplifying the barriers to entry are critical. I'd rather have extra couple people sign up than capture a registration fee.
Cool. And then with our last few minutes here, Timothy asks, how do you retain your instructors?
Sure. So there's a lot that goes into retaining instructors. Number one is pay them well. All right, pay them well so they stay. That you have to be able to make a living out of it. If you have a top instructor that's doing really, really well, they're one of your most important assets. So if you want them to be able to stick with you long term, we have to provide them a career. We provide them benefits. We have a simple IRA. We have health insurance for them. A lot of schools that we've worked with, their instructors, the reason why their instructors leave is because they have to, because they have a family all of a sudden. So number one is treat your instructors as your team, as a career. Number two is communication. Find out where they're going, find out what their vision, help them build a vision for themselves as far as where they fit into the business. Again, reward, communicate, and appreciate what they're doing. Oftentimes, just like as teachers, oftentimes you catch the kids who are doing something wrong. Oftentimes you catch your team only when they're doing something wrong. Find ways to praise your team members every single day. Part of my process is at the end of every Saturday or a Friday, I have on my list a note that I write down, to a personal handwritten note to one of my team members, whether it be an assistant instructor who's not paid, who we're grooming up, or whether it be one of our team members. You know, when it's their birthday, we send them flowers. We send them, be a part of their lives. That's the biggest thing I can say.
All right, then thank you everyone for joining. Like I mentioned, you'll be receiving a copy of the webinar to watch later if you missed any part of it or had to step out at all. But otherwise, we will see you for our next webinar in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to let us know.